Gone 5, 16, 19, 21, 33, and 10. Check results. You remember?
Okay, for today, Dr. Way, I've got a lot of these to do, along with a lot of other stuff. I'm feeling very tired, for no reason, because I have done absolutely fuck all. That is a goose. I don't know if you can hear that. That is the sound of a goose. That is still the sound of a goose. Geese don't change their sound. They're still doing it. Yeah. But yeah, no. I've got about a lot. I'm getting very distracted right now by the surrounding sounds. You've probably noticed. Like, I don't know. I'm just very out of practice. I got a lot of these to do. I have got notes, which is good because I usually forget what I'm meant to be going on about. Although I have remembered the first thing without my notes. I'm pretty proud of that. Everyone clap. I assume you're all clapping for me right now. I do appreciate that very single march I was about to say. This is Pod a Day, where we do a podcast every day. We've been failing to do that. Once we get to December 23rd, right, and it's been 365 days, if we haven't got 365 episodes out, which I'm confident we will hit, I'm confident we will get 365 episodes out by 365. But if we have failed the mission, I mean, we was going to go past 365 anyway, but now there's even more incentive. I mean, that's the way I'm trying to look at it anyway, because otherwise I haven't held a pen in a long time. Like, I don't know if this exposes me for being like pathetic. It's kind of like saying I haven't read a book since Diary of a Wimpy Kid or whatever. Since what was that one they read us in school? This is actually as embarrassing. This was primary school. It was about a hamster, and you'd go off on adventures, and you'd like hear about his adventures and shit. I can't remember, but either way. I genuinely, like, since school, you just don't hold a pen. You just don't use a pen or pencil. But if I'm writing notes or something, I do write notes in my phone, but I just find that I've never organized it once. And, like, trying to go through and find it all, it's just very difficult. And it's kind of nice to write it down on a piece of paper. And, like, holding a pen now, it just takes me being back to school, fidgeting with a pen, just sort of... Did you guys ever have, like... Obviously, everyone's had these, but, you know, a clicky pen where you go... on the end, and you'd like put it on the table, and you'd like press it down and then let go, and it'd like shoot up into the air a little bit. Look, just fiddling fun. That sounds nothing like that. But anyway, no. Speaking of degenerate children, though, There was this big thing on the news in like the UK news, UK viral, UK middle-aged sort of 35-year-olds to 60-year-olds viral in terms of the demographic it was going for, and effectively, and I'd never heard of this tree before this, but there's this tree which apparently is pretty popular. People like to take pictures of this tree. When the sun sets, it's like a nice little picture. It's called the Sycamore Gap tree, I think. I think that's because the tree's in a gap. Well, no, it's like there's these two hills that meet in the middle. Like, they both go down and meet, and then there's just one lone tree in the middle of it, and it's like relatively nice, and people like to take photos of it. Like, if you're a tree fanatic, like if you're big in the tree community, you might know the tree. Outside of that niche realm, I don't imagine many people know of the tree. I can't think of many trees that are famous that I know. Like, probably the world's biggest tree, whatever that is, that's a pretty famous tree, I'm sure. World's oldest tree, I'm sure that's also another famous tree. Aside from that, you know, I can't think of a famous tree. Famous wood, on the other hand, no. Famous tree, though, I can't. You could argue Ray J's got a famous... I was forced. But no. Basically, though, I got it written down here, which is what someone tweeted, because they was annoyed. Yeah, this is A4. I do prefer A5, but, you know, gotta make do. Even though technically A4 is more, I prefer... Anyway. Basically, someone tweeted right after they saw... Oh, wait, I didn't even explain what happened. What am I going on about? You guys have no idea, like, unless you're, like, again, from the Facebook group page for trees. I didn't even explain. I'm just about to... Someone cut down the tree. I said, talking of degenerate kids, a 16-year-old was like, oh, it'll be funny, old people in my town love this tree. I'm going to go there overnight and chop it down with a chainsaw. I don't know how he did it, if he just had a chainsaw lying around. But overnight, he chopped down this tree. and people were left in a sham, in a way. Like, this is it's weird. Like, the UK has two images of like how it looks and like what the people are like. And one half of it is like lads, drinking culture, massive England tattoos on their back, skinheads, maybe light racism, I'm not sure. But just sort of, Newcastle, West Ham fans is like the whole of the UK. That's how people imagine one side of the UK just drink too much. And then the other side is like quaint. We love the royal family. We was destroyed when the Queen died, this and that, the tree, you know what I mean? It's like quaint and then, majority. But this was a local minority because this guy, he cuts the tree down, and a lot of people were like, oh, it's a shame, whether you knew about the tree or not, even finding out about, it was like a historical thing people seem to go and enjoy, and even if it's not my thing, I guess people were liking it, But at the same time, I did find it mildly funny. Also, in people's reactions to it. Plant a new tree. Is it that deep? I know it's been there a while, but it's just a tree. And by the way, the tree is nothing special. It's like a relatively, it's how like a kid would draw a tree. Like, it's very well kept, just sort of, trunk, plant, what they call leaves on the top, tree. But this is the funniest tweet I saw about it, which was tweeted by a man, looks to be about, didn't even look that old, looked to maybe be like 30, let's just say. And it goes like this: one of the most iconic trees in the UK. I'm going to read through all of this tweet, by the way, and then I'm going to read through it a second time and basically break down every part of it. Why it's the funniest thing I read that day. One of the most iconic trees in the UK survived hundreds of years, including 2 world wars, just for some tramp who got an F in maths and English to cut it down overnight. That was the first time I read through it. I'm sure you noticed that. Now, this is the second time. One of the most iconic trees in the UK. Iconic is the word he's gone for. Can you list me some others? One of the most iconic trees in the UK. I didn't know. I didn't know. And maybe that's me being ignorant. I didn't know. But genuinely, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't even think of one tree, in the world. There's probably like a giving tree or like some kind of tree that gives luck or something that in other culture. But I mean, specifically this country, I feel like I should know of a tree. And apparently this is one of the most iconic trees in the UK. So like, even like what would be a niche interest, we're niching it up even more in the UK. Not just in the, like, it's not even one of the most iconic trees in the world. Like, where is it actually on the rankings? Survived hundreds of years, including 2 world wars. Okay, now I want to hone on this. It's a tree, The words you're using, survived hundreds of years. I'm not being funny. Most trees do that. That's their trees. You plant them, they effectively live forever. Not forever, but they live a long time. Maybe not hundreds, but like, it's not crazy, surely, for a tree to live over 100 years, right? Like, that's not that wild. You plant it, it grows very slowly. It's a tree. I wouldn't call it survival. It's they just do the thing. They just live. I'm sure there's many trees. I'm sure I walk past multiple trees a day which have been there for like over 100 years. It's not exactly like, they're not like apartment blocks. They don't get done up every 30 years to try and match the new aesthetic. Like, they're kind of evergreen. They're kind of, they're always in fashion. We haven't got to upgrade. We kind of like the look and we just stick with it. They're trees. Yeah, including 2 world wars. So like, avoided some bombings, right? It's got history in it. Just for some tramp who got an F in maths and English to cut it down overnight. Because yes, it was a 16-year-old, a kid, a child. It wasn't like an old miserable man. It was a kid. You thought it was funny. The J meme from in between us. What did you do that for? Funny, Just did it. I don't know why he did it. He's clearly enraged that he did it. He's calling him a tramp. I don't know. Maybe it was a middle class child. I don't know where the Sycamore Gap tree is. I would assume maybe it's in an affluent area. Maybe the kid was middle class. I don't know if he's a tramp. I don't know if he got an F in his maths and English. But this guy's enraged by it, and it's just like, to me, in the short term, I don't think there's really a bad way you can look at it. Well, there is a bad way. Obviously, that's how most people are looking at it. But I just mean in the sense that there's like, first of all, like it's one of those things like a shame. If you like trees and that, it's like maybe a bigger shame. And also, if you liked going there and sitting there and like maybe there's like two old folks who sit and have a ham sandwich there every day and they've done it since they met in the 1920s or whatever, and it's like now it's gone. It's like kind of sad. But also like you like the tree so much because it has so much history. It's like lived long, you know, and that's why you like it. But like to me now, this adds more history. First of all, more people know about this tree and the area now. You know, you can plant a new tree that's added history. Like, it just adds more history. Like, now in the lifespan of this tree or, like, this area, it got chopped down. Like, it's an added story to it. Now it's actually interesting. If they somehow manage... Like, someone said surely a tree surgeon, which I don't know... Could get it on an operating bed and, like, refuse the tree. Like, people were saying, surely they could refuse... Like, they would, like... People were, like, getting desperate, right? But like, if they could do that, okay, adds more history to the tree, like adds a bit more. Like, guys, look on the bright side, you know. That's what the tree would have wanted, I imagine. And look, it's time came. It's just a tree at the end of the day. You know, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'm trying to think of something niche that I care about, which no one else would give a fuck about. But I don't know. It's whatever. Yeah. That happened though. True. Where's my pen? I got to cross these off as I go through them. But yeah. Bad pit in Moneyball. If you know the clip, you know the clip. But yeah. I got a bunch of things here. And one of them was just wrote down cut down tree. Slow news day. Although it wasn't technically a slow news day. Well, to be honest, at least that was something on my Twitter. Because aside from that, do I talk about this now? Or is that another title? What's this shit eating? Oh. Sorry. That's not what you think it was, by the way. I'm just trying to think. But if this mic doesn't work for this episode, I'm posting it anyway. Just because the amount of episodes I've scrapped... By the way, we're not trying to do a podcast every single day and you're getting to past like day 200 and you're starting to find it a bit tricky. What doesn't help is when you record like 6 in a row just to find out the audio is fucked for all of them. I am listening back to every single one of these afterwards to make sure I'm not doing it in bulk. Because if one gets fucked and I can fix it for the next one, I'm not doing 6 in a row just for it to get fucked and uploading none of them. Because that's happened so many times, man. The issue is as well was when you got notes, it's like, what topics of these are like title topics, like things you don't want to have 2 title topics in the same thing because it's like you want to spread out the titles you got. I mean, I don't really have anything to say about this, so I'm just going to use it now. I don't want to title another podcast about something I want to speak about for 30 seconds. What I was going to say is my entire Twitter outside of seeing that tree on one of these days, and I was like looking for stuff to talk about, it was literally just the sort of if you're on audio, I was trying my best to impersonate the meme. I believe it's Kevin James. Kevin James has taken over Twitter with just his memes. Not even really memes, just sort of old photos that now have been taken to be memes, and like, you know, I don't know. It's like I can't remember any of that. I don't really care. I feel like it's a slow news day when you're like, memes have been going viral. This is a funny meme. It's like they're just memes. Like talking about memes as like one of the topics. Like it's just like this one was so everywhere that I was like, Kevin James is everywhere. Am I right? But like to actually break them down and be like, whoa, it's funny because of the I think the kids are using it because it's just like I don't know. It's Twitter. There doesn't have to be a reason. I feel like most things these days is why they're used. It's because there doesn't need to be a reason. Anyway, yeah. This is I think this is 251. I'll see you guys in 252 of pod a day.
Here with the kids, and they had like 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet. He was like a hero.